COVID violators are getting caught, while Chicago residents are getting shot. Yet the number of COVID fines grow higher despite the hail of gunfire. Chicago's handing out citations for mask violations, investigating 100 businesses in the first 9 days of the recently reinstated mask mandate. So you have to wear a mask indoors and outdoors, especially if you're shooting someone, which seems to be the new way to celebrate a 3-day weekend. Over the Labor Day weekend in Chicago, 65 people were shot and 6 died. The city seems unable to stem the violence, but are relieved that people dead from bullet wounds are far less likely to get COVID. And speaking of crime, Real Clear Politics did a head-to-head comparison between the riots of 2020 and the Capitol chaos on January 6th. Of course, this study will surely be ignored like fruit at an all-you-can-eat buffet. But we won't ignore it. Here's what they found. At the George Floyd riots, there were 15 times more injured police officers than at January 6th, 30 times more arrests, and the damages from the riots were 1,300 times more costly than January 6th, or as CNN called them, mostly affordable. But think about it. Imagine the costs if the riots weren't mostly peaceful. So once again, the numbers don't lie, the media does. And this report doesn't even include the 20 men who attacked Jussie Smollett. We got to find the real abusers there. All right, Chavitz, masks trump murder in Chicago and probably elsewhere now.
The way you said Trump murder, yeah, I worry that we become so numb to it. This should be a huge story day in and day out. And the idea that they're taking money out of people's wallets in forms of taxes to go in to give people fines on masks when you've got people that aren't going to live because they're murdered,
yes,
because they're shot, because kids don't feel comfortable even going outside because it's so dangerous out there. Where are the priorities? Democrats have no solutions, no offering to say this is how we're going to bring peace and security to the places like Chicago or Portland or New York City. They just don't have any solutions.
I think it's, Tyrus, I always go back to the idea that, like, in the mind of a lefty, reform is always the removal of the consequence.
Right.
It's like whether it's illegal immigration or it's crime, it's like we just want to get rid of the having to post bail or going to jail. And then
right, because when they know that, then they're not going to do it anymore.
Yes.
I think, yeah, because that works with my kids. Hey, no spankings tonight. You guys all go to bed at 7. Yeah, 12 a.m. when they're cartwheeling on my couch, throwing M&Ms at me, going, "What you gonna do, Dad?" So, and it's the same thing with, horrible people don't throw M&Ms; they shoot people.
Yeah.
So I think, in the spirit of trying to bring everyone together, let's do this. Let's split the diff. Let's make our mask connected to a bulletproof vest, like a connection. Yes. And then I think people in Chicago will be more open to wear the mask everywhere because they get a bulletproof vest. So you kind of kill two. Well, that's not the way I want to kill two birds with one stone. No. Let me rethink that because I want to not use the word kill, but throw in some mask vests.
Yes.
Vest the masks.
But also, or bulletproof masks.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
Yes.
I
like that.
Yes.
As long as they shoot you in the mouth, you're good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're shooting your mouth off.
Yeah.
There you go. Kat, is gun crime a response by the gangs who are opposed to mask mandates?
No. Look, I think this actually makes sense. I think it's horrible and it's wrong, but it makes sense when you understand that they're not really worried about the safety aspect. They know that faces are not more dangerous than bullets.
Yes.
But the mask mandate is such an easy way for the city to make money.
Yes.
They can go in, oh, no mask, and you can have to pay a citation of up to $2,500. It's easy and it makes money. That is not true about hunting down people in gangs and prosecuting them. That's not a fruitful or easy enterprise. So it's really about getting more money in a city where obviously people are already paying huge amounts of taxes. So they're not even pretending to care.
No, it's true. You know, the worst type of person, Cash, is the fake righteous jerk who chooses these low-risk issues like to take a stand on. So I can take a stand on masks because, I'm not going to go near violent
I thought you were
crime.
talking about me for a second.
Yes. Let's talk about your jacket. No, but like I'm not going to touch violent crime or gang violence or mental illness on the street or the homeless thing. But I can come after you about the mask because that's low-hanging fruit. It's low risk, and I can get righteous without spending any capital.
It's votes and money. Because you have a willing mainstream media, it's votes and money. There's a 50% increase in violent crime in Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles, in shootings.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks ago, a 5-year-old got shot. A 5-year-old got shot. That should be national news.
Right.
And going back to gangs, yeah, it's a hard problem. We tried to crack it under Trump going after MS-13. I was on the task force. It's not easy, but you have to dive in. But the media doesn't care because all they wanted was him out of office.
Yeah.
So he took on violent crimes and narco trafficking, and they didn't care. Now we have more children getting shot. We have more drugs coming in, and we have refugees flying in that aren't getting vaccinated. But they don't care about any of that because that's a voting block that they can retain come 22 and 24, and they're basically going to try to buy it by saying, we'll take from the rich, we'll give you guys everything you want, and we'll be the biggest hypocrites on planet Earth. And since we own the media, no one's going to call us out.
There you go. All right, coming up, the next installment with our former president.